which J.K. Rowling needs to not be a jerk. That's all I gotta say. Well, hello there. I'm so excited about this video. So I really got involved with YouTube last year, and when I started my channel, I was still just trying to get the hang of things. So in September of last year, there was the Magical Readathon where you got to go to Orilium. It was sponsored by, or created by Book Roast, Gia Book Roast. And it just is so cool. It's like this whole world that she's built, and you go to school and the reading challenges sort you into guilds. They sort you into different career paths. Like there's just so much intricate world building done with this readathon. And at the time I was like, this is just a lot and I'm still trying to get my bearings, so I'm not going to participate. But now I'm ready to. The spring equinox is coming. There's a new semester starting. So I finally sat down, I created a character, and I'm just going to kind of walk through that and then my TBR. This starts in April. It goes all month long. I am currently working on building my character, and I've just kind of done, I read through the novice path and did that reading and like the little quiz, which was a fun little personality test to get you sorted into your order. And my name is Aurelia. I'm in the Order of the Crescent, and the career I would like to do, which you can just pick, is the Feywild Cartographer. This is, you're a map maker exploring like the Fey world. It's very dangerous. It just sounds really fun. So in the spring equinox, I need to take elemental studies, shape-shifting, animal studies, astronomy, alchemy, inscription, and demonology. And so we'll talk about that TBR here in a second. But first, as I was building my TBR, there's a few things that I kind of skipped over as far as reading prompts. And as I was building my character, I am going to do the reading prompts to figure out my conduit. So because I'm in the Order of the Crescent, I do get a familiar. And that prompt is just, you need to read a book with an animal on the cover. I do not have any books with an animal on the cover yet. So I'm going to let my familiar come to me slowly, which is how things happen in fantasy worlds anyways. So when I read a book that has an animal on the cover, I will use that as my familiar, but right now I have not found that or one I want to use. So my familiar will come later. The other prompts I have, so my conduit is like your weapon, kind of. I really want a wand, and that's available to anyone. I'm gonna have 2 conduits because I do what I want. So the wand is a book with branches on the cover. And I have a book club book I need to read by the end of the month. So that's The Bean Trees by Barbara Kingsolver. And I'm going to try to read this before the end of the month. My book club meets on Monday and I haven't started it. The other thing, because I'm in the Order of the Crescent, I can have either a quarterstaff, a bow, or a trident. And I picked a trident because it sounded really cool. And the book I'm reading is The Foxglove King. And that fulfills the prompt of a book that's part of a trilogy, because to my knowledge, this is going to be a trilogy. At least that's what Goodreads says. So I am just going to call it that. And that's the book I'm going to read. I am an earthling. I'm probably going to be an earthling that's like of the earth, like, and not air, water, fire. But I do have a trident, so maybe I should reevaluate that and be a water earthling. So I'm really excited for those 2 books. I'll have those finished by the end of the month, and then that means I can get right into Orilium Academy and do my spring reading and try to pass my classes this semester. Okay, and then we're gonna go through my classes. So like I said, I want to be a Feywild Cartographer, and I'm a novice in the Orilium Academy. It's my first semester. I'm starting, you know, I transferred in, I guess, or I started late. And so, like I said, I need to study elemental studies, shape-shifting, animal studies, astronomy, alchemy, inscription, and demonology. And G has made us this lovely syllabus that tells you all the classes that are offered and then your reading prompts. I am gonna go through these classes and tell you what I'm planning on reading for them. One of the rules is, again, I need to focus on book of the month. So all but one of them are book of the month books, solely because the prompt that this one was, I didn't have a book of the month that fit it, but it's one I'm excited and it fits for like the theme. I will go grab my stack and then we will get started with that. All right, I've got quite the stack. I'm actually really excited about this stack of books, and I think readathons are so fun as a way to get me motivated for reading. So I'm really excited for what the semester is gonna bring for me. The semester, the class, the equinox, whatever. I need to pass alchemy, and to do that, I need to focus on the principles of transmutation, which is a metal in the name, gold or silver. So I'm finally gonna read Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I loved Uprooted so much, and this has just been on my TBR for way. And then for animal studies, you had to focus on heads and tails. So you flipped a coin. So heads was nonfiction. Tales was fiction, and I have a few nonfiction books on my book of the month shelf, but they are very big. So I was like, okay, if I get nonfiction, I need to read a shorter one just for the sake of what I'm reading that month. And sure enough, I got nonfiction. So I'm going to read The Stranger in the Woods, The Extraordinary Story of the Last True Hermit. Not a super long book, pretty big print. So that will be for animal studies. And then for astronomy, it's The Eclipse Effect is our focus, and that's 2-letter E's in the title. And I'm going to read 9 Perfect Strangers with my friend Lena as a buddy read. There's a lot of E's in that title, so it'll be my first Leon Moriarty too, which I'm excited for. I have 2 other books by her. Big Little Lies is one I really want to read this year, and then I have Apples Never Fall, I think. I'm excited for this just to explore her. I've heard this is not her best, but it'll be fine. And then for demonology, it's an impersonator is kind of the focus this semester. So the book that is compared to your favorite, and I really like Families Behaving Badly, complex family sagas. So the book that I'm going to be reading is Ask Again Yes by Mary Beth Keane. She has a new book coming out that I also have an arc for that I would like to get to sooner rather than later. This book has also been picked for me by my friend Gwen for her Patreon book of the month exclusive that we're doing, where it's kind of like a reading challenge to tackle your book of the months. So she picked this one, and I really am looking forward to it. I have a feeling I will love this. And then the next one is Elemental Studies, and that is Botanic Controls this semester. So flowers on the cover. I'm going to read Writers and Lovers by Lily King. There's a nice little bouquet right there for you. Literary, I've heard nothing but good things. I'm very excited for this. The next class is Inscription, and we will be focusing on the glyph of flight. So that is a book from your top highest shelf. And I wanted a book that I could also do on audio because of the number of books I'm reading. I wanted something that I knew I could get through fast. So I looked through Libro to see what I owned, and coincidentally, When We Were Bright and Beautiful was on my top shelf, and I have it on Libro FM for audio. So this is kind of a legal thriller about a sister whose brother is accused of raping his girlfriend. And I think the fallout that comes from that, the court case, all that type of stuff. I have been very intrigued by this. And so I'm pretty excited to read this one. And then finally, this is my non-book of the month book for this semester reading, Spring Equinox. So the last class I need to take and pass is Shapeshifting. And this course focus is on the form of the wolf. So the wolf needed to be on the cover, the title, or the author's name. I had Wolf Hall, and that was way too big and not what I'm looking to read this month. So instead, I'm going to do The Wolf and the Woodsman, which feels like it fits really well for like a fantasy world, you know? And I got this from William Morrow last year, I believe, when it came out, or yeah. And so fantasy, I'm really excited. Like the cover's gorgeous. I've heard good things about it. It's been featured in my Illumicrate calendar. And so I'm like, hey, I don't know who this character is. And then someone said it was The Wolf and the Woodsman. And I'm like, sure. Okay. I need to read that book. So here we go. So one of the cool things about this magical readathon in Orilium is you can really pick like what you want your major to be, so you say. And so I picked one that was harder, that had a lot more reading prompts because of how much I read in a month. And if I want to tackle all my book of the month books this year, I really wanted to make sure I was like reading that. And for the number of books I still need to read, I needed one that there were a lot more options. So I need to take and pass 7 classes and read 7 books. And when you read books, you get points for your guild, all sorts of stuff. I'm just excited to do this readathon and like fully immerse myself in it and fully understand like what's going on and get points for my team or for my guild and just all of that. There's also the Realmathon going on, hosted by Covers with Cassidy, that I'm also going to participate with, and I'll just use the same books. So I'm not sure what my reading videos will be this month. I have content planned, but I also might do more based on different readathon things that happen, and I might vlog a little more. I don't know. But all in all, I'm super excited to go to Orilium for my first semester and to participate and just see what the month brings. So that's my TBR. If you're also participating in the Magical Readathon, I would love to know, or if it's Realmathon, that too, because I'm also doing that. But I'm so thankful you're here. I'm so excited for this next month of reading, and until my next video, I'll see ya.